Hi there, this is Prez George Washington with American Music Show. Are we lucky today? We have Rex here from New York City, and he's here. Actually, Rex, you flew in on the Concorde?
Right. Yeah, right.
He flew into San Luis Obispo Airport down here on the Concorde. They got it right on the first landing, and Rex is going to give us a few tips on how to produce your own show. So, Rex, let me ask you something now. You have a few techniques here because I've seen some of your work. Excellent work. I mean, it's incredible.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. How do you set up your sets?
There's about 4 or 5 very important things. Number one is lighting. You got to have incredibly good lighting on a set. Number two, you have to have very, very good cinematographer if you want to get top production quality film. You have to have somebody who has their eye behind the camera, that knows what they're doing, knows how to zoom, knows how to tighten up, knows when to back off. But lighting and sound are really the most important things of all.
And what is some of the sound equipment that you suggest? Because I noticed a couple of producers were using some of this stuff from, I'm not going to mention the business, but it seemed low-end quality stuff for the frequency, you know, the wireless lavalier mics and stuff.
You cannot sacrifice on low-end equipment. You got to have good, I like Telex equipment. Shure makes really good equipment, but you've got to have the top quality equipment in order to be able to get the sound, because if people can't hear what the folks are saying.
That's right. It comes down to the finished product. And the Telex, this is a product name?
Telex is a product name.
And basically you need 2 wire antennas.
Well, Telex they all make several different brands, but the one I like the best is the one that has the 2 antennas on the receiver.
That's incredible.
Yeah, because they usually pick up better.
And what kind of cameras do you use, too?
I like Beta cameras, personally. They're easy to use, although they're coming out with some pretty good high-end digital stuff right now. It's economical. I mean, you can get a camera today for less than $5,000 that'll do a reasonably good broadcast quality shoot.
That's incredible. Now I understand from I've heard through the grapevine that you will do 5, 6, 7 hour shoots to get a half an hour show.
More along the lines of about 40 or 50 hours of tape.
Really?
Yeah. To get what you really need.
That's incredible.
Especially if it's a documentary, that's the hardest one of all.
And then what you do now, what do you do on special effects? Do you use special effects on board with the camera, or do you wait till you get back to the editing bay?
Both.
Okay, so sometimes you will use on the camera.
I like having a boom effect. I like a camera on a boom because it gives you the ability to move and get a lot of production quality. You can get a lot of the room, different angles. I like the in-your-face MTV style, where they get right up and they move the camera a lot.
Kind of like the real TV type thing.
Real TV. I like sepia. I like digitizing, so you get the jumpy, bouncy movement.
Is that what they did?
All those things, all that production quality causes people's eye to stay trained on the camera, on what you have shot. And that's what you want, is their attention. People's attention moves quickly today.
That's true.
They got that remote control in their hand. They can pop off the remote anytime they want. You have to do as many things as you possibly can to keep their attention.
Now, you saw the movie Gladiator.
I did. Okay.
Now, when he was fighting the tiger and the guy with the mask, it seemed like they strobed that shot. It seemed like it was like every other frame. It was incredible. Do you know anything about those special effects they use?
Yeah, that's just another effect that you can do. Again, a lot of that is done in the post-production.
That's right.
You can't do that with a camera out in the field, but you can do it in a post-production studio.
Now, you specialize in infomercials and other television shows, too. What do you look for in people who are on camera? How do you make them feel comfortable on set, especially if they've never done this before?
Most people don't feel comfortable on a set. It's very, very difficult to be good behind the camera. It is, because people, you know what, people, they get the lights, and there's an audience, and there's cameras everywhere, and they're mic'd up for sound, and they freeze. So it takes an incredible amount of time to work with a person and get them out of their shell, because that's an environment that so many people are uncomfortable with.
Well, I've watched your work today. You have a great rapport with the people here. And the important thing is, though, you get the finished product. I guess the bottom line is the audio. And the visual, what do you do about lights?
The other thing too is that people, you have to spend enough time until you get that right footage, and it can only be a lot of times people just let folks talk, and you can't do that. It's what you're looking for is a 7 to 15 second sound bite That's exactly right. And you can't, I don't like scripting because I don't think people are natural when they're scripted. People speak naturally from their heart when they say what
That's true.
is on their mind.
That is true, and I noticed that, in fact, you showed me one of the shows, some of the techniques are very subtle. You're doing basic, very soft zoom, coming in very slowly, and then there's sometimes where you just do a basic shot where you're very tight in on the person, but yet there's so much excitement in the shot itself. Is it?
Well, that's the production quality. That's the point of being able to have equipment that can make people look a lot better than they look normally. Because most people look worse on camera than they do in person, and so you have to work with them a little bit to make sure.
So, in closing now, some of these other info commercials I've seen, some of these guys seem like they're like that one guy with all the question marks who sells the information for the federal government programs out there. He seems like he drinks too much coffee. He's like talking 100 miles an hour. Is that his personality, or is that on-air personality?
See, now again, it's not
He's not that way normally.
No, that's true. He's not. In fact, he's a very intelligent guy. But it's not up to you and I to determine what the audience wants, and that's the biggest mistake that most producers have. They think that what they have to offer should be what the audience wants, and the audience wants what they want. So no matter what you think, you have to be creative enough to give the audience. You do all the best that you can, and you try to put out your best foot. But once you put your best foot forward, the audience is going to tell you whether they like it or not. And frankly, goofy sells.
That's true. I mean, basically...
sometimes. It depends. Yes. Everybody's different. Sometimes sincerity sells. Sometimes... But I will tell you this. People will pay a lot more to be entertained than they will to be educated. That's why a lot of people... Sometimes the things that are entertaining sell. Like Oprah Winfrey is very, very entertaining. She's also very educational. I'm not taking anything away from her.
I think she is too. I like her.
There are many things that are far, far more educational from a detail standpoint, like documentaries and public broadcasts and so on, that don't sell because they're not entertaining.
That's true.
So you have to entertain your audience as well.
So maybe give us 3 tips, the first 3 things you think about when you go do a shoot. What are the first 3 important things that you need to do?
Lighting, sound bites.
There it is. Okay, this is Prez George Washington. We have Rex here from New York City. It's an honor to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Appreciate it.
Come back next time he's in town. We're going to drag him down here to the Charter Television Studios down here.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll get a release on that, and then we're going to film.
Right.
We got one little camera here. We got the Super VHS going, but you know we're going to have the digital cameras on you next time.
There you go.
And maybe I can get back here on the board, do some special effects, have you fade in on the blue screen with Pamela Anderson as you sing the big Madonna hit like a surgeon. The crew likes it.
Edit.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.